You know the saying, hindsight is 20/20, where you can understand something after it's already happened? Well, after managing and overseeing more than 7 figures a month in digital ad spend for B2B SaaS companies, there are some simple but profound truths that you learn. I'm Silvio Perez, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 4 things that I learned managing more than 7 figures a month in digital ad spend for B2B SaaS companies. And if you like content around B2B advertising, be sure to subscribe and click on that bell icon to be notified of future videos. The first thing I learned is that everyone is just figuring it out. I don't care if you're Salesforce or HubSpot or any other legacy software company that has made it to unicorn status, from the largest companies to the smallest. Everyone is just figuring it out. I've had the good fortune to be able to see inside of the ad accounts of some of the top B2B SaaS companies that a lot of up and coming startups admire. I've also got the good fortune to look at some of these emerging startups that are not as developed and be able to see what they're doing in their ad accounts and be able to consult and advise some of these top B2B SaaS companies, whether it's the director of demand gens or the performance marketing managers, and be able to advise them on how they can develop their paid advertising efforts. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter if you're an established organization or you're a new startup, everyone is just figuring it out. And the most successful companies that I speak with and advise are the ones that are focusing on beating their benchmarks. They're focused on themselves. They don't overstress what is this person doing or that person doing. They're just focused on better understanding their customers and being able to create cool ideas and campaigns to be able to communicate their value and connect with their market. So don't get caught up in the comparison trap of thinking, you don't have any of the answers and this company has it all figured out. Everyone is in the process of figuring it out. And as things change at the pace as they do in the online advertising world, you have to constantly be refiguring things out, finding new channels, best strategies, and always trying to beat your best. So just focus on you beating you and better servicing your customers through your messaging, through your campaigns, and of course, developing your product. And that is the recipe for success. So don't get caught up in comparison. Know that everyone does not have all the answers and every single company is figuring it out. The second thing I realized is there's not enough attention on creative. So many B2B marketers get lost in the targeting and they forget the psychology. You could be having your ad getting in front of your exact ICP. It could be this specific title within this specific industry. And if you're using a channel like LinkedIn ads, it's not very hard to do. But where we fall flat is we're getting in front of the right people, but we're not communicating our message in a way that resonates with them. We're not keeping into consideration the psychology piece and understanding where is our prospect along their buyer's journey and how can I create creative and messaging that actually speaks and resonates with them so that way they engage, click through, convert, view, whatever conversion or action you're trying to optimize for. So the attention to creative is everything. I have audited so many accounts where I'm looking through the client's ad account and I realize, hey, lead quality is good, audience quality is good, we're getting the right people interacting, but the cost per lead is too high, or the cost per MQL, the cost per triggered opportunity, whatever metric you're optimizing for, and they switch to another type of audience. And they're constantly chasing shiny objects on trying to find another audience, another audience, another audience, that they never put any mind to the creative, what your prospect actually sees in their feed. So think of yourself, how many times have you seen an ad on LinkedIn that you didn't click or that was just blind to you and it didn't even make an effect? Your prospect is no different. The only difference is it's your ads that they're not paying attention to. So really thinking through your creative is everything. And if you want a whole video on how to create killer creative, go ahead and drop a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to do a follow-up video. Now, when you're creating your creative to really make a difference and stand out, a key question that you should ask yourself to frame when you go about the creation process is, how do we create ads that our prospects will love, engage, and willingly share with their own networks and create virality? So how can we create ad creative that actually adds value to our prospects, where they reciprocate in the form of likes, comments, shares, and of course, taking the action that we're trying to optimize for, whether that's watching a video, reading a blog article, completing a form, or whatever the case might be. So framing yourself with that question when you go to create ad creative will already put you in a much better place, as you're not just doing what everyone else is doing. You're thinking to yourself, how can I create ad creative that my prospects will willingly share, like, engage, and comment with, and it will create virality with my ads, where my ad itself can spark conversations, and people, of course, will more likely be inclined to convert or take that action that you want. So focusing on your creative is everything. If you're getting in front of the right audience, you've already won that battle. You know you're getting in front of the right person. Now you have to optimize the creative piece to find the economics that work for you so that you can scale. I'm telling you, how many times I have a client where they're targeting an audience, the quality is on point. They're running just image ads or a specific type of ad, whatever channel you're advertising on, and they try, let's say for LinkedIn, a carousel or a video creative, and their cost per lead gets cut in half or by like 40% just by changing the creative itself in the ad. So do not sleep on your creative. It can literally become a competitive advantage that differentiates you from your competitors and allows you to stand out in front of your market. The third thing I learned is that B2B marketers are making decisions off of poor quality data. It is so unfortunate when I look at an ad account and I see that they're just tracking conversions that make no sense for their business. They're tracking things that have no impact on the bottom line. Ideally, you want to track conversions that represent conversion actions that are actually going to drive real growth for the business. If you're making decisions on poor quality data, you're going to end up turning off campaigns that were actually driving really good returns for you, or you're going to end up scaling campaigns that looked good on the surface. Maybe they had a really low cost per lead, but when you look on the back end, that campaign didn't drive any actual opportunities, or maybe if it drove opportunities, all those opportunities never converted into revenue because they were poor fits. Whatever the case might be. You cannot make decisions in your ad accounts solely on what the channels tell you. They will, especially if you're tracking conversions on the client side with a pixel. Pixels are awful with iOS 14. Pixels are going to accept even less conversions if you're running ads on Facebook. God forbid Google decides to opt into iOS 14 as well. Pixel conversion tracking will be even worse. They overcount. There's ad blockers. There's a lot of bad things associated with pixel tracking. So I really recommend that if you're not already, track your conversions based on server-side tracking, which is uploading offline conversions based on the activity within your CRM. If you want a whole video on this, let me know in the comments down below, but this is really the best way to go. You want to feed high quality conversion data into the ad channels based on the outcomes that actually matter for your organization, because if not, of course, you're going to make mistakes because you're making decisions off the wrong information. So really making sure that you're making decisions on quality data, and at the very minimum, just starting today, if you don't have any of this stuff set up, you don't have offline conversion set up, you're not feeding that back into the ad channels, just don't take what you see in the ad channel as the truth. Look at what the ad channel shows you, but then also cross-reference that activity into your marketing automation tool or into your CRM to make sure that you're actually scaling things that should be and turning things off that should be, so you're making good decisions. Hope you're finding this video valuable. If you'd like more content around B2B advertising, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for future uploads. The fourth and final thing that I learned is that you cannot scale complicated. Simplicity over complexity. You want to keep things simple and repeatable. So many B2B marketers are doing so many different things at once. They're throwing so many different things against the wall. They're really they have shiny object syndrome. They're chasing this tactic or that tactic, this ad channel versus that ad channel, where they don't ever take a second to just stop and really think through the structure of their experimentation. So a very simple example in LinkedIn ads is like setting up campaign groups for you to understand and gather insights. So really, you can understand and answer basic fundamental questions like, hey, what audiences are working for us? If it's social, or if it's paid review, what listings are working for us? Or how are we gonna track our different ads with the UTM parameters? What's our UTM convention? What's our naming convention for our campaigns and our ads, so that we can easily draw insights at the end of the month? So we understand what's working so we can do more of that, and obviously, and more importantly, is what's not working so you do less of that. So you can't scale complicated, keep things simple and repeatable, and don't get ahead of yourself, and really focus on building a good system so that way at the end of every month you can look back and you can say, hey, last month this was our benchmark. Moving into this next month, let's beat that. And every single month, every single quarter, you're trying to be better than where you were last. But the only way you're gonna be able to draw those insights and understand what's working and what's not is if you keep things simple and repeatable. So you can't scale complicated, never forget that. Hope this video was valuable. Be sure to check out these 2 videos here. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for future uploads. Until the next video, take care.